welcome. How do I say it again? It's XICOR or XICOR?
Well, technically it's XICOR. When I actually like at least when I put in like Google Translate and press the spell out command, it says XICOR. But ever since I've adopted the name, I think that's the expression, I've always said XICOR. So I guess I can ask people to say XICOR instead of XICOR, but grammatically it might be XICOR.
So please welcome XICOR.
Oh god.
We're just gonna go with
Good
that.
start.
Perfect. This is going in the blooper reel. But welcome XICOR. This is Apacheace101 and XICOR. We're having a little bit of an interview. We've been trying to set this up for about 4 or 5 plus months. I had been reaching out to him. We're both senior members of the community. How long have you been playing?
Since 2013, so 5 miserable years.
So you beat me to it. Well, it depends. Did you play late 2013 or early, like mid 2013 when it came out?
Yeah, pretty much when it came out. Like,
Okay, so mid.
at least the first time that I tried it, a week after it came out.
Okay, so mid. I played late 2013, so like October, November. That's when I actually, or no, before that, probably September actually, because I remember playing Cyber Horde and all of that, and that was a blast. So
Oh,
we're both senior members of the community. We've been playing this game for fucking ever, and we have no lives.
pretty.
But I just have a little bit of an interview to do with XICOR today, and just some random questions. I know a lot of us are all wondering, especially for us more senior members. So it's going to be going quickly between me, XICOR. But XICOR is mainly going to take the stage here and answer
I
some of the
think
questions.
if I might interrupt you, you might want to switch that to Z-Core so that people don't bitch about it. If you're comfortable with it.
XICOR,
I'm
Z-Core,
fine if you want.
xylophone, I don't care.
Yeah, okay, that's
But anyway, let's get started. So, what drew you to Warface? When was your entry to the game?
okay. So there's kind of a story behind this, but it's not that complicated or long. So I used to when I was back in high school, um, before last year. Okay, no, like mid years of high school, I used to play a lot. Like I had this group of friends that we always used to play online games with. I know it might be pretty ironic or funny to say this, but we started out with Minecraft, and then we slowly started playing this FPS called Crossfire. I'm not sure if you or what.
I've played
know
it,
the
yeah.
game?
I've played it.
Yes. So we played it at the same time as Minecraft, and then as we let go of Minecraft, we got more and more into Crossfire. And for the people who don't know what game Crossfire is, it's this really simplistic and ugly looking, if I say so myself, FPS.
CS
It's
source.
exactly. So the looks are really basic, and the gameplay is just like CS:GO, where you don't aim down sights, so it's not very realistic. But mainly the main point of about that game, I think, is that the looks are very simple, if not bad. Okay, so we used to play that, and then we sort of got less and less active in that game, and then eventually I changed high schools, so I stopped playing with them. And when you get into a game with some of your friends, it's hard to continue playing that game on your own if you don't play with them anymore. So I kind of let go of Crossfire. But before we stopped playing Crossfire and before I stopped playing it, there was at the time I used to watch this YouTube channel like daily. Like I was really active on their channel called the Yoxcast. Yoxcast, Lewis and Simon, if anyone was wondering. And their content isn't any FPS. Like usually they upload a Minecraft and sometimes some other games like Gmod. But one time they uploaded this video from E3. I'm not sure if it was E3 2012 or 2013, but it was basically an interview with I think I don't know his name, but it was that bald guy. I think he's a developer or like head of the
David
staff.
Vonderhaar.
Yeah, and
No.
it was him from E3, and he was giving them a preview of the game, like a really early version of the game. I don't know
Like
if
an
it was
early
alpha.
alpha.
Yes, alpha or like early beta version of the game, and he basically showed it off to them. And like I said, they weren't even into FPS, so I was pretty surprised to see them upload a video like that. But anyways, they were at E3. They got a preview of the game. They showed it off, and that got me pretty interested because, like I said, I was playing this FPS that's really unrealistic and ugly looking, and then I saw that there's this FPS that's coming out that looks amazing. The gameplay is pretty realistic, and it's this brand new thing which, like I said, I didn't play with my friends anymore much. I thought like it's a new thing that I can try out. It looks amazing, and it's free, which back then, because I was smaller, was a big thing. I didn't really like spending money on games because you could let go of them and stuff like that. But anyways, I got introduced to the game from there, and then as time went by, I think the Russian closed beta started or whatever, and the main thing that like kept me going and kept my interest growing for Warface was the frag movies that I would see from Warface.
That's
Because
true.
I remember like there was these Russian frag movies that even if their music was like Russian or whatever, I would keep watching them over and over again, so much that I liked how the frag movies felt and like how entertaining they were. I don't know how you could put into words, but somebody I think once used the expression arcade-like. Warface has this really arcade-like feel to it because of like the combo symbols and everything. So it really makes, in my opinion, the frag movies and montage videos really attractive and enjoyable. So I kept watching these Russian frag movies, and and even if people stopped uploading, I would keep watching the old ones. That kept my interest alive. And then when the closed beta came around for the first time to North America, the way it was only on weekends, and then when it happened, so when it started, I had a really shit PC. Like I would have to put on the lowest settings, lowest resolution. I would barely get like 50 FPS. So
We've all been there at one point or another.
So I when the first time the game got released, it was the first closed beta weekend. I didn't make it, but the second beta weekend I made it in, and back then it was on this platform called GFace, which was in the browser.
We remember that.
Yes, and it was this horrible.
It was a nightmare.
Exactly. Like I don't know how I managed to set it up and start up the game, but I actually got into it, which was a miracle, considering it was on GFace and my computer was so bad. But I got into the game on the second closed beta weekend, and from there I started, I think, playing in the closed beta weekends every time they came, every now and then when they came around. I didn't make it to all of them, I think, but I made it to most of them. And then the game went to the beta phase, and then well, it never some people might not know this, but Warface is technically still in beta because it never came out of it. So,
I mean, we could see this massive update rollout where it just blows us all away. We never know because it is still in beta phase.
Exactly. So technically it's still in beta because they never officially announced the end of the beta. But anyways, after the closed beta weekends, there was the open beta, and then after the open beta, it kind of like they removed the term open beta and it became like kind of normal game, and then it moved to Steam, and then so on and so forth. So when I got into the game, as I said, it was early 2013.
Well, mid. Well, it was announced before that, but it was actually like released mid 2013.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on the website, and I joined on 31st of January 2013.
So you actually joined at the beginning of 2013. Wow.
Yes, exactly. So that's the first time I started playing the game, and then as time went by until the release on Steam, I got more and more active as my computer got better, and more active as I found more friends to play with.
And remind me again, you're on the EU server, correct?
No, I'm on the NA server.
Really?
Yes.
What state are you from then?
I'm from Canada.
Oh,
Yes.
That's why I was like, what? Okay, apologies. I'm sorry. Maybe I had caught one of your streams on EU. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, because a lot of people, like, when I stream, like, surprisingly, I have a lot of EU viewers, and when I stream, a lot of people ask me to get on EU. So what I decided to do is to split my streams in half. So half the time. So half the time I would be on EU, and half the time I would be on NA.
Gotcha. Understandable. Obviously, like, we all nowadays, we have our North American side or our European side. If you have enough time to grind each side out, you can make it to the rank to play with professionals. I haven't done that yet. I'm working on that. Oops. But it does open up the doors for you. However, I play on the European servers every once in a while, and oh my gosh, so much lag. But anyway, that's a whole different story. So
Yeah.
back in the day,
We don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now.
oh yeah, no. Red bars for days. But anyway, those of you who are watching, and obviously this is going to be a longer video, not all of you may want to watch the entire thing, but this is more of a history lesson going back down memory lane for all of us. We remember Crytek Warface, and I bet a bunch of you guys do remember it as well, but for those of you who don't, XICOR, what do you describe Crytek Warface?
Okay, so
In a nutshell.
in a nutshell, I don't know if I should say this, but it was.
Do you want me to take this one?
Game.
Well, I'll take it from here. So, what it was. So Crytek was both the developer and the publisher of the game. Crytek is known for the Crisis series, nowadays the Hunt, and the Climb, that virtual reality game. They do knock out some really good titles, but Crytek was both the publisher and developer, and it was until winter 2016, right?
Yeah,
16 or 17. I think it was 16. Winter 2016, right?
I'm not sure.
Anyway.
That sounds pretty close.
Anyway, but what happened was they realized that they could not really see the potential all the way through, so they changed the publisher to My.com, which is a Russian game company. They also have a bunch of games under their belts as well, so that's a good thing. They do have some experience with the gaming development. As we see nowadays, they're bringing it to consoles. Again, back in the day, it was on the Xbox 360. I don't know, was it on the PS3? I don't think it was.
No, I'm pretty sure it was only 360.
Okay, so it was on the 360. It was, from what I heard, extremely popular, but Microsoft actually dropped it due to Crytek not wanting to do a business deal in-game or something like that.
That's how it went?
That's what I heard, but it was very popular on 360. Nowadays, My.com is actually pursuing it. First of all, giving PlayStation early access. But we're glad to see that people are now actually going to be excited for it to come to console again. It's a great game, free to play. Why not actually bring it to console? It'll rival. I'm pretty sure it can rival some of the good games out there, like War Thunder, Fortnite. Okay, I'm kidding. Who am I kidding? But you get the idea. It was such a good game with Crytek, and obviously we still see old things. It's still Crytek's baby, but Daddy is now My.com, basically.
Yeah.
If you want to say it like that. So anyway, so switching gears a little bit, in all of the time that you've played this game, what are some of your favorite weapons, or your personal favorite weapon in the game that you like using all the time?
Oh, you're not gonna mention any of like the big events from Crytek era?
I mean, okay, and in another nutshell, we also had a bunch of other events. If I remember, they went to Gamescom in 2015.
Well, no, I meant like memorable moments or like periods of time from Crytek era, because a lot of people, like, a lot of stuff happened during Crytek time of the game that a lot of people absolutely have no clue about. If you want to discuss those, if you want, like, at the end or whatever, I can have a few of those to talk about too if you want.
Let's go ahead and talk about it now. So obviously the main ones I remember being the anniversaries. The anniversaries were these major things where all these players would come pouring out of the woodwork because it was an anniversary. I mean, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. I mean, I can pull up my career stripes for the 1 year, 2 year. We've been doing it for so long that we can see, where is it? See, 1 year, or the third anniversary, but you can see my first year stripe, my second year stripe. We've been playing this game for so long. Everyone comes together during that time period, but they have amazing deals on random boxes. If I remember correctly, in 2016, they also brought back the quote-unquote beta weapons. XICOR knows what I'm talking about here, with the AC-7 SMG, the XRH, Carcom SNR. That was a nightmare. Because back in the day when I turned 18, I made the stupid mistake of dropping $300 on a XRH.
Oh my
because there was only one in the auction house for 30,000 credits. This was another old
God,
Crytek
the
thing.
auction house.
Yes, the auction house, and that was $300 US. So I was so pumped. It was one of the rarest at the time, one of the rarest and best ARs in the game, hands down. Right?
Well,
Okay,
I don't know if you could say best, but
the recoil
pretty
was
much rarest,
awful,
yeah.
but the damage was insane. It was the highest in game at the moment. That still is actually, well, on par level with another one at the moment. But anyway, so it was an ultra rare weapon, but I dropped $300 on this weapon. Fast forward about 7 months, and the anniversary rolls around, and they roll out the XRH, now Scar H, random box. My $300 baby dropped to about 20 overnight.
Yes.
So rip.
I actually remember that specifically because when it came out, I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to get the gold version and sell it to get the Carcom. But
The SMG or the SNR?
like SMG, because that was, I mean, were they selling
yeah.
Carcom SNR in the store?
Yeah, they were. I mean, very rarely, but like for a day, I think it was for a day only.
Oh, I don't know. But anyways, like, I've always, like, Carcom SMG is the only gun I wanted the most. Like, anyways, the Carcom SNR is pretty, like, cancerous, if you want to put it that way. A lot of people dislike it, and I'm not a big fan of auto snipers
So
anyways.
I'm gonna cut in right here. So there's two Carcom SNRs nowadays. They're the Tavor SNRs or whatever. But there's the blue one that you unlock in the vendors, which is semi-auto, which is also really good. But the one we're talking about is the black Carcom SNR, which is full auto. It is a nightmare. When you hear it, you scream and you die. Moving on.
And yourself. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the random box got released, and I was like, because back then the Carcom SNG was really, really rare as well, and when it was on the auction house, it had like crazy prices. I think
60,000, 50,000. I remember
Sean
that.
Walk, yeah, Sean Walk got it for like 25,000 credits or something like that.
Damn.
Which is freaking insane. But back then there was this whole like a lot of like trades and everything going on auction house, so a lot of people had crazy amounts of credits. But anyways, besides that, I wanted to get it, and the prices were crazy. And I was like, the XRH box came out, and I was like, okay, this is my only opportunity. If I get the gold XRH, I can sell it and get the gold Carcom. But then back then, because it was really hard to get Morphe dollars if you didn't have VIP, so I was poor as usual.
We've all been there.
All I could get, I don't know if I had like any time constraints because of my school or whatever, but all I could get around to opening was 5 boxes of the XRH. And in those 5 boxes, I actually got the normal version perm.
Oh, that's good.
And the video is actually on my channel. So I got it perm, but I couldn't manage to get the gold version to get the Carcom SNR.
Look at the bright side. I actually have my boxes now. Obviously, the drop rates and all that have changed over the years, but I have an 800% Scar H, and then my gold
800%.
rip. And then to top it off, my Winchester, the 1887. We'll get to these weapons down the road. I have an 898% Winchester 1887. That means I got 9 normals before I got gold. Rip.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so yes, back in the day, these weapons were considered ultra rare, OPAF. I mean, the XRH only ties with one other rifleman weapon, the DP-27, the record player LMG, with a magazine on top, tearing people apart with 90 damage, highest in game. The only thing right below that is the F-1000, I think, at 87 or something like that. But yes, such a shredder. The Carcom SMG also, AC-7 SMG, Carcom SNR. I know the BT-50 rotated out of the boxes as well. That was back then. The Scar H, all that. But yes, those were amazing weapons, and we all tried our luck. Some of us got really lucky. Some of us were fucking infuriated because we had spent so much on the weapons previously, and now they are super common. So that was kind of one mini downside, but there were still cool updates, cool things going on. I mean, after all, it was an anniversary. Why not bring all these cool weapons back?
Yeah.
And I do remember, this was before I joined, there was that Liberty event or something like that where they had the Mosin Nagant and some revolver or something like that.
What did he have? I don't remember what you're talking about.
It was a bolt sniper, the Mosin Nagant. It was before my time.
are you talking about like the World War II weapons?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah. They brought that out. They released that for some while. It wasn't very long. It was pretty short. So a lot of people, when they see that, they're like, "What the hell is that gun?" But
Where did
back
that
then
come
it
from?
wasn't. Yeah, back then it wasn't anything special. Like nobody was excited about it because the gun itself is pretty shit. You cannot
Well,
compete even with the Everest when you use that sniper. So
well,
it's not something to look forward to. I
in
can
my
say.
defense, I have actually played on the Vietnamese server. Yes, I did it. Rip. But they actually do have some of these ancient, really cool weapons, such as a rotary grenade launcher. I fuck you not. It is OPAF. They also, if I remember, have the railgun from Earthshaker, which is broken. If I remember, you can only use it in PvE, but it's hilarious. But they also had these old weapons, such as a revolver, like an older World War One style revolver. Actually, they had the Mosin Nagant. They had a couple of knives. They had the US-12. That was another weapon that came rolling through again. Was the US-12.
Oh, the US-12. Who can forget that?
One of my old clanmates actually dropped 60,000 credits on a US-12. That's 600 US dollars. Rip. And he got banned a year later.
Oh my god.
I have to admit, I've spent over $5,000 on this game.
Oh my god.
I'm an awful example, but I do see something in this game. That's why I put a lot into it. XICRO over here is having a stroke.
Dude, I'm just getting like PTSD because I feel like it's if there weren't spenders like you, no offense, but if there weren't big spenders like you, I think they would go back to like the free to play system because I think that's another topic, but I think it's a really bad thing to have a pay to win system. But I think spenders like you kept it around.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that, Cycor.
Yeah.
Let's calm down. Let's calm down, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the subject. So I'm guessing your favorite weapon, since you liked it so much, was the Carcom SMG?
Yes, my favorite weapon of all time is the Carcom SMG, but I have my favorite weapons for every class as well.
Okay, so let's say for Rifleman, what do you prefer running the most?
Okay, now the Rifleman is kind of a tricky class because I'm really like I never stick to one gun. I don't know why, but I can never stay on the same gun. So I have like there's a bunch of weapons that I have like 5,000, 6,000 kills with, and I have the only Rifleman I have the only rifle I have mastered is first of all the Carcom, and the Carcom rifle because well I love the Carcom series, so I like that gun as well.
The Tavor TAR-21.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And the other gun is the FY-103 because I don't know why, but the FY-103 has always been like I think the most reliable weapon for me because it might be because I'm really a tap fire guy. I don't really like spraying. It might be because of that, but besides the FY-103 and the Carcom, I really don't play. I'm not really focused on one single gun in the Rifleman class. So, the other two guns that I would say are I would say maybe my favorite is after the Carcom, it would be the XRH.
The heavy hitter.
Yeah. Maybe at the Y grade, but I haven't played too much with it to say if I can say it's among my favorite. But...
So as Icor is talking, I am scrolling through my inventory to kind of show off these weapons that he's talking about. If I don't have them, I apologize. I don't actually have the WAI unlocked. I'm unlocking this stupid knife right now. But what he's talking about, I can actually pull it up. It's this jailbreak device, legendary assault rifle. Nowadays, it's called the SAI Gray AR-15. But as you guys can see here, it has the legendary jailbreak flash guard. It has a 40-round magazine. I mean, this thing can kick. It can kick hard. And when you're not expecting it, it can rip you apart. If you're playing or Destruction or Plant the Bomb, the 40-round magazine can really help you out. And the fact that it's so accurate at mid to long ranges really pays off. Back to you.
Yeah, so that's for Rifleman class. I don't really... I would say my favorite is the Carcom, then it would probably be the XRH, and then it would probably be the FY-103, and the last place would be like the Y Gray, or the Psy Gray, I think it's now.
Psy Gray, yeah. Okay, what about Medic?
Okay, so medic, like it's my least used class, but I actually have quite a few shotguns that I like, surprisingly. So I think my favorite ones are, first of all, the Anatolia. That was the old name. I think the current name is. Let me see if I can find it here.
Dira Mark 10 VR 102.
Yes,
Nadira. We're not saying that full name.
Yeah, I just call it Anatoilet back when it was Anatolia.
Because it's shit. No, I'm kidding.
It's actually pretty good. It's not broken. It's not.
If you can nail the shells, it is actually really good. But if you're one of those players that just slides and sprays everywhere, good luck.
Yeah.
You will just get hit markers.
So I have two favorite shotguns actually. This is my first favorite in the fully auto shotguns. I like the way it looks. I like the way it shoots. It reloads everything. And then the other one that I like is I think it's called pump action. It's the Richmond 870 RIS. It's the one that is for Warface Law random boxes.
Remington 870 RAS nowadays, but yes, I have that too.
Exactly. So those two are my favorite shotguns. And then there's some of them that I really like the PHS-15 it was called. Now it's the Franchise Spaz 15. Franchise, I don't know.
Franchise Spaz 15, yeah.
Exactly. I like that a lot. I like the M40 Super 90. That's really fun to use sometimes. And then the other one, which back in the day was like, when it came out, it was like this new US 12 basically, is the BOAS, or now the Anacon. So that used to be pretty. I didn't have it when it was actually relevant and good, but I like that gun a lot as well for medic.
It is actually really good. I do remember grinding it out in the beginning. It did have some serious potential. Another gun that I personally saw a lot of people using was the Accuracy 7. Nowadays, the Cry Precision 612. Weird name, but back in the day it was called the Accuracy 7. That thing could pack a huge punch, and the range on it was insane. So you would literally be sliding around a corner and then just get nailed by a freight train going, what did I get hit by? Accuracy 7.
Across the map as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because logic.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Engineer.
Okay, so Engineer, obviously, like you started the topic, the Carcom SMG is my absolute favorite gun of all time, and for Engineer. But actually, there's like my most liked guns are for the Engineer class, even though I don't use it much, or I don't use any of these guns much. My most favorite guns, I mean, next to snipers, because I think my favorite guns are snipers and SMGs. But after the Carcom SMG, my favorite SMG is actually the MT19. I don't think anybody even knows this gun exists, because nobody ever uses this.
Is that the MP9?
Let me see what it's called now.
Yeah, it's the MP9. It has the little handle in front.
Let me see if you got the right one.
Heckler and Koch MP9, I think.
Where did it go? Oh yeah, no, it's BNT MP9. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought. Oh, it's Brugger and Tomet. Never mind. But yes, now I recognize it. I was about to say that sounds familiar. So
I absolutely love this gun. Back when I couldn't get the Carcom SMG because they never would freaking release it, when this gun came out for Warface Stars, and that's an interesting fact, because it used to be a credit random box weapon.
I know.
I remember people spending credits to get this gun, but when it came out for Warface Stars, I was so happy I got it. I got a bunch of kills with it. I still haven't mastered it because I don't play Engineer much, surprisingly, even though my favorite weapons are for Engineer. But after the Carcom, this is my favorite weapon. I don't know, I just love the reload, the animation, the looks of it, everything. And then I love the UMP. And the problem with that is that the UMP is pretty trash now, to say the least. So.
Well, okay, I'm going to cut in here. So there is actually a secret technique to using it. So yes, nowadays it is either very hit or extremely miss. But what it's very renowned for is its 85 damage. It packs a fucking punch. It's 45 caliber, 45 ACP. It has 25 rounds, so kind of a smaller magazine, but it does have some high stopping power. It is slower. It definitely is reminiscent of the SCAR PW or XRL PW, if you know what that is. Yeah. It is very reminiscent of that. One combination I used to use a lot was a red dot with a suppressor on it, not the significantly reduced damage one, the slightly better one with the actually the green dot nowadays, and it would just headshot like crazy. I don't obviously use the grip pod thing on it, but it was just a beast. But that's my little combo, so I'll shut up now.
No, it's fine. But yeah, like the UMP back in the day, actually, like I'm pretty sure if anyone didn't have the AC7 or the Carcom, they would fall back on the UMP. That's how good the weapon was. And even when the first anniversary came on, they released a version of the UMP for the anniversary, and every single engineer in the universe was using the UMP.
Oh yeah.
Nobody would touch any other gun when that gun was around.
Wasn't it also in the crown random boxes at one point?
Yes, with the new crowns though. With the old crowns, I don't think there was an old crown version.
Well, yeah, with the newer crowns or crowns V2, yes. With the old ones, no. But like the older crown random boxes, not ancient, but the older.
Oh, you mean the normal version in the old crown random boxes? I'm not sure. It might have been there, but I didn't have any crowns back then because I didn't form co-op. So I couldn't open any.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I've always been a peasant, people. Don't be surprised.
It's okay.
The last one that I like a bit less than the others, and it might be just like just because of one single event, is the M4CQB. And I'm not sure what it's called now. It's like R4CQB or something.
It's actually M4CQB. Remember, they changed the names to realistic.
Exactly. The R is the wrong one. The M is the right one. So M4CQB, when it came out with the dragon skins the first time, I think it was actually pretty good. Like the dragon skin versions were really
OP.
good.
It was OP.
So I used it when it came out with that skin, and I freaking loved it. But the normal version is not promising, to say the least. So it's the last favorite of my SMG weapons.
Okay. All right. Understandable. All right. Moving on to sniper.
Okay, so the sniper is the other class, like the engineer class, which I have a lot of favorites. So my favorite of all time, a lot of people might know this, is the TWM. Is it called the AWM now?
It's called the official name is the Arctic Warfare Magnum, so AWM. But are you talking the gold or normal? Well,
the normal back when it used to be good, because for the people who don't know and who weren't around, the first sniper that was relevant and that everybody in the high levels used was the TWM. It sounds pretty crazy considering how shit it is nowadays, but it used to be the very first relevant and mainstream sniper, and then it became the Miller and so on. But this was the very first good sniper, and I loved it ever since. I never got around to using it when it was actually good, but now that I've gotten it, it's pretty shit, so I'm pretty sad about that.
Well, did you get the normal or the gold?
I got the gold after like hundreds of thousands of Warface dollars, but I mean, considering the stats aren't too promising, even for the gold version, it's not that good either.
Well,
it's not that.
Back in the day, here's what I'm going to cut in. Actually, one of my friends was a god with it. He actually got the gold TWM, again, back in the day, TWM, old names. Actually, recently, my.com acquired the permissions to use the real names for these weapons. So back in the day, these old names, TWM, Carcom SNR, or nowadays Tavor SNR, whatever. Back in the day, that gun was amazing. However, nowadays, not so much. The damage has been kind of reduced. But if I remember correctly, they are rolling out an update soon to boost it up again.
Yeah, exactly.
So
hopefully it'll become usable
again,
if not good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that update. But anyways, my favorite sniper of all time is the AWM. After that, I'm kind of torn apart between the RBA and the Bushmaster. I know a lot of people might dislike the RBA, or now it's the DSA
SA58 SPR.
Oh my god, such a long name. RBA is so much better. A lot of people might dislike this weapon because they might think it's like a noob weapon because it's I think it's a semi-auto, is it called?
It's semi-auto, and it's one of the slowest in the game.
Exactly. So I'm not a type of person, not the type of sniper to use autos or semi-autos. I pretty much dislike them. But this one, it's it's pretty much, because of how slow the RPM is, it's pretty much a bolt action sniper rifle. So I find it really fun to use. I like the looks of it. I like the reload, and I really just love this sniper. Even though some people might, it might happen rarely because, like I said, the RPM is super slow. But you might sometimes get people bitching at you for using a semi-auto. But still, I like this sniper. The other one, like I said, it was the Bushmaster. Oh my god, that sniper, dude.
Otherwise, so has he mentioned the RBA? The Bushmaster used to be called the Atheris GQ50.
Yes, exactly.
But I don't have it, so I have it highlighted right now in my inventory. I don't have it at the moment, but as you can see, it still is a beast. If I remember, it's actually in the credit random boxes right now, but it is a beast. It hits like a goddamn freight train. Unlike the RBA, where if you put a suppressor, it would knock down anything in sight. If you remember the RBA with the suppressor and how everyone was spamming that, I feel so bad for you. Because that was a nightmare and a half. Like, anyone with the RBA would just put on the suppressor, go into a motel free-for-all, sniper only. Nightmares.
Actually, I don't remember the RBA ever being that popular. When did that happen?
Oh gosh, that was like 27, like early 2017. Like, everyone who had it, it wasn't the most popular crazy thing, but everyone who did have it was throwing on a suppressor and just knocking down everyone across the map.
Do you mean a silencer?
Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure because normally it's the silencer that knocks down. But yeah, Bushmaster, it's an amazing gun and it's actually really relevant. You can use it competitively even if you want. That's how good it is. But I absolutely love it. It sounds so like menacing and powerful when you shoot with it. So and it's really fun to use. And the last one I would say is actually the legendary vendor sniper rifle, the WT308. Did they change the name for it now?
I can pull it up. Where is it? Accuracy International AT308.
Okay. So yeah, this gun, even though it's really slow, like you're pretty much a snail when you use it, I really like surprisingly I do pretty consistently well with it, and it's actually pretty fun to use. So I would say the last of my favorite sniper is the AT308. But the thing with sniper class is that I really like every single sniper because they all have this really nice feel to them, this original nice feel when you use them. They all have a different play style, and they're all fun to use in their own way. So besides the ones that I mentioned, I really like the rest as well.
And then again, so I'm scrolling through my inventory. I have the Calico, I have the Crazy Horse, I have the BT-50. I have all these quote-unquote noob spray guns. The sad part is, yes, they're super OP. Yes, they're a blast to use. But nowadays, they don't see much love because everyone just accuses you of being an absolute prick. So they don't see much light anymore. I do pull them out once in a while, or maybe just to do a video. But are they really worth it in the long run? No, not really. Not when everyone just hates you for pulling it out.
Yeah, everyone will just...
yeah, it has low damage, but it's full auto, so it's fast, like the Calico. But you run the risk of getting one hit killed by a 350 bolt sniper. So if they miss their first shot, they're screwed. You can spray them down, but no one understands that you're at a disadvantage if you get one hit killed.
Yeah, and you also can't dodge the insults and the death threats.
That is true too. I do not know how many times I got death threats for using the Karka SNR. Anyway, so last but not least, we're going to blaze through these really fast. Try and give me like your best all-around pistol.
M91. Definitely M91.
Okay. The normal or winter, doesn't matter?
Well, I've always been a peasant, so I never got the winter one.
Okay.
I wish I did, but I've always been limited to the normal one. But it's my favorite pistol, even though it's not super good. It's still pretty usable. Like, you won't absolutely like have no chance if you use it. So I'm at least glad that I can use it and do good with it because it's not bad.
Okay. And have you tried using the Oto or not really?
Is that the orangey looking one?
Or the quote unquote Walther PPQ?
Walther? Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm not sure if we're gonna get to it later, but that's actually one of my least favorite pistols, even though it's like one of the best pistols. And especially for me, like, because my playstyle with pistol is only hipfire, only headshots.
Mhm.
So it's like the perfect pistol for me. But I don't know. I just really dislike the pistol. I don't know if it's the reload, the looks, maybe all of them, but I really dislike it.
Gotcha. Okay. And then melee. XICRO?
1 second, go back.
Whoops.
Sorry, I'm back.
No,
So
you're
you
good.
were saying?
Okay, so your favorite melee.
Oh, okay. My favorite melee, people might have seen from my stripe, but and it's pretty funny because yes, I mastered a melee weapon. Is what is now called the Black Hawk. I don't know if they ever changed the name of this one. I think it's always been the Black Hawk,
Mhm.
but I really like this weapon. Like I like tomahawks, and ever since the game was released, this was always the OG tomahawk-looking melee weapon before the freaking tactical axe came out. So I've always it's always been my favorite, and it's not good, but it's still my favorite.
On a similar note, on my old account, I actually had the candy knife permanent, and yes, I goddamn mastered it.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare, but I mastered it. And also, the ice axe is also a thing in the game where it's basically an ice pick.
The icicle
Moving-
knife, you mean?
No, ice pick. The ice axe. There is an icicle
yeah.
knife, but the ice axe
The
is also a
icicle
thing.
thing. Yeah, I have that, and I think a lot of people don't know about that. Surprisingly, it's not in the game anymore, is it?
The ice axe? No, I still have it. I'm highlighting it right now.
Oh, I mean like as in like accessible in the game. For
No,
new
I have it.
players.
Oh, new players? I've not seen it or heard of it anywhere.
Exactly. That's so. I think I might have equipped it once, and people were like, "What the hell is that?" So
Mhm.
back in the day, it was pretty like it was
was
pretty
funny.
normal thing. It wasn't.
It was
very rare, yeah.
it was a normal and funny thing because the animation was just stab, 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 stab.
Yeah.
But it was still an axe. It wasn't a knife where you would just shove it at someone. You like smash someone over the head with this goddamn ice pick. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I can scroll through. Another thing I like doing as a player, more senior player, is I like keeping certain rarer tier weapons, like the Digger of Doom or the plastic shovel. Even though my time has expired on them, I do like keeping them in my inventory just to see what
Yeah.
things have happened. So
Exactly.
I can
I'm the same.
so I can scroll through special forces katana, wooden hammer, icicle knife, Digger of Doom, hammers, all sorts of crazy things in the past, and for all my classes too, I do that too.
Yeah. Same. A lot of people complain about it when I do inventory or account overview videos, but I also keep all my temporary items or like expired items for just the souvenirs, or as souvenirs, I'd say.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're just gonna blaze over this question in really quick succession. You said that your least favorite pistol is the Walther or Otto. Back in the day, it was the Otto W77. Nowadays, it's the Walther PP or P99. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's not my least favorite. My least favorite is probably the Deagle or the Eagle Eye. The Eagle Eye and the what is now called the MP443 Gratch, I think.
Yeah.
Those two are my least favorites because Deagle just doesn't suit my playstyle. Like I said, I only hit fire, and the Deagle freaking sucks for hip firing. And the MP Gratch, I just hate the looks of it. I hate the reload animation. I hate everything about it. And the Walter, I also dislike, but not as much as those two.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're just gonna knock out one weapon that you hate the most in Rifleman.
Dunefield.
The Dunefield. Really, the burst.
Yes. Yeah, all burst weapons. F1000 and Dunefield, I absolutely hate them.
Okay, well, nowadays it's called the Enfield L85A2 Custom, named after the actual British assault rifle. Medic.
Yeah. Medic, I'd say there's not really anything that I dislike too much. I'd say maybe the Viper, because it looks really ugly and like it shoots super inconsistently, like the sound of it is all over the place. So I'd say probably Viper.
Okay, well, nowadays it's the VEPR. Again, I'm going to quickly rattle off the names back and forth, but I'm going to shut up now. Engineer.
Engineer, I'd say, again, nothing much, but I don't know why, but I have this like syndrome where if anything it becomes mainstream and super popular, I start disliking it. So I'd say probably the Scorpion Evo, which everyone and their mom uses nowadays. That's my least favorite one.
Really? Okay, I haven't seen too many people use it. I think the one I hate the most is the goddamn Cold War Scorpion. Oh my god.
Wait, are you sure you? I'm the one I said is the one that has the red and black skin.
You're talking
Are you
about the Scorpion Evo. That's a more modern one featuring like Black Ops 2 and games like that. The one I'm referring to is the Scorpion VZ with the wooden grip, stick magazine, older.
Yeah, the CZ. That's the one I mean. The CZ Scorpion Evo. That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, so there's two. Okay, there's two Scorpions in the game. That one you're talking about is the smaller...
The one that every competitive player and their mom uses.
Yes, the CZ Scorpion Evo.
Yes,
There is a second Scorpion in the game. There is no CZ in front of it. It's SKORPION, Scorpion VZ83. It's that old Cold War era Scorpion.
Okay, well I can't find it right now, but anyways, yeah,
No,
that's the one I dislike.
Yeah. Anyway, sniper.
Okay, sniper. Again, I'd say probably the BNP because it's super slow. I can just not handle the gun. I mean, not as in I can't use it, but it's just so slow that I fall asleep every time I equip it. So that's the one I dislike.
Okay, so the AMP DSR-1, again, they actually did change the names around. Other people may recognize it by the quote-unquote DSR-50 from Black Ops 2. Ooh, shiny. Moving on, least favored melee weapon.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that one. I'd probably say, okay, let me just take a quick look. If I don't say the XICRO knife because it's the default, then obviously it's gonna be shit. Actually, yeah, I hate the katana because back in the day, melee only rooms used to be fun, and I used to play them, but ever since the freaking katana got introduced, there was no sense in playing melee only if you didn't have a katana. Like, you absolutely had no chance. So I hate the katana with a passion. I really do.
And also, it was renowned for it has insane range capabilities, but people would constantly people would quote unquote drop knife where they would go prone and stab your feet.
God, I remember that shit.
It was the most annoying shit on the planet because you would be heavy swinging with your katana, thinking, "Oh, it's going to insta kill." No, they have more range because they're prone on the ground and can stab you in the feet.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna crank this out now because I know you do have a day to get to. So.
Oh no, actually, you can take your time. I'm fine for now.
Oh really? Okay. I guess we have all night then. No, I'm kidding. So, so what are your favorite game modes, like multiplayer game modes?
Well, my favorite of all time is FFA because do you want the reason or no? Right? Do I just go
ahead.
Quickly?
Just go ahead.
Because it really has none of the problems the other game modes have. So in FFA, you're all on your own, so you don't have to carry other players. Not that I'm not saying that to say I'm a good player, but a lot of times if you're in a public round-based game mode, you either carry or you lose pretty hard because of how amazing auto balance is. So you don't have to carry anyone. You're all on your own. There's no spawn trapping, which ruins every single respawn game mode. You don't have to deal with grenades, which is another problem of the game. There's no reliable protection against explosives. So there's none of that three problems, and it's just another thing is that it's super quick. So back when I used to play really actively, I used to not have a lot of time to sit like I couldn't sit I couldn't play for long sessions. So FFA was the best game mode for me because the maximum it can last is for 10 minutes. Usually it finishes at like 7 minutes or so. So it's really a game mode you just get on quick, you just play it and it's done with. Whereas PTB has all the frustrations of carrying and like and the rounds and how many rounds you have to win, and nowadays the ties and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then the other game was, like I said, they have all the problems of like grenades, spawn trapping, and all that.
Gotcha.
And so that's my favorite of all time. And then, although I hate it now, I've always hated it, but Storm is my second favorite because I don't know. I don't know how I got into Storm, but it's always been like my favorite before I got into FFA. I even got 1,000 storm winds, and it was pretty miserable. I don't recommend anyone ever doing that.
It's hell. It's fucking hell.
Yes, I would never recommend. I don't want to say this, but like, do anything else with your life except mastering the storm game mode or getting 1,000 wins is the most horrible and miserable shit to do. But I really like storm when it works. When you're not getting spawn trapped by like 5 clan mates who have OP weapons and your team is just boosting and spawn cluelessly, it's pretty fun to play. The struggle of like capturing the posts and like landing the grenade shots and like defending, attacking, everything. I really like it.
Gotcha. Okay. So those are your 2 favorite PvP modes. Now what about PvE? Do you prefer co-op, spec ops? What missions do you go for?
None. I'm really not a
PvE, not a PvE
player.
man.
The last time I played it was like 2 years ago or something. I don't remember. And the only reason I played it was because you couldn't make money if you didn't play PvE. But I don't find anything. I don't see any incentive in playing PvE. There's nothing interesting for me in it, honestly. Like even okay, you could say like the special ops have like a story or whatever, but like even them, I really don't play any. I don't like any. I don't. The only time I would play them, like I said, was if either I wanted to farm for money or if I was farming for clan ladder. Back in the day, there was this thing called clan ladder where clans would compete for basically a ranking system, and co-op for some time it was the most beneficial thing to play. So I'd either play for the clan or I'd play to get money. But besides that, I'm really not a fan of co-op.
Gotcha. Okay. So my question is, when you are playing PvP, obviously you mentioned you have to nail those grenade throws. You have to get everything lined up accordingly. Are there any like special tactics, anything you really advise people doing? Like, hey, check your corners, listen for mines, look for mines. What do you do?
You mean in general?
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, so in general, like I'm not the best player to say this, and a lot of people will probably laugh at hearing me giving tips to players on how to play well. But at least I used to be good sometime back in the day.
Sometime.
Yeah. I really recommend like first of all there's the issue of crosshair placement. So you don't want to be looking at the floor when you're moving around. You always want to place your crosshair, so the thing in the middle of your screen, you always want it to be at head level. So you want to move around. If you're going out on a corner, you want to put it at a level where usually people would peek and where their head would be. So you would jump around a corner, your aim is already the spot where people are more likely to be standing and their head would be, so you're more likely to quick them quickly. So that's the first thing. The other thing is, and a lot of people don't mention this, but staying calm, like taking your time with the kills. Like I don't know if this is the case for other people, but a lot of times when I'm not warmed up or whatever in gunfights, I have this like urge to get the kill as fast as possible. But a lot of times that distracts you from doing what's most efficient. So if you keep your cool, if you stay calm and keep your cool and think of how to kill the enemy that appears in front of you in the most efficient way possible, most of the time you will do overall a lot better. Like one thing that I think I used as a strategy some time ago was that every time an enemy would appear in front of me, the thing I would have on my mind would be, how do I kill this enemy with the least amount of effort possible, the most efficiently possible, and in a way that if another enemy appears immediately after him, I'm ready to get him as well. So you wanna really keep your cool and really just take your time to aim at the head, and because that's the most efficient way of killing people. You take your time, you stay calm, and you aim for the head and kill them. And you make sure to, after you kill them, you make sure to stay on your toes so that immediately if another enemy appears wherever in your line of sight or in your field of vision, you're ready to move towards them.
And obviously, like, if you see a sniper way across the map, don't fucking challenge him.
Yeah, that's. I mean, a lot of people
Use
have,
common
like,
sense.
yeah, a lot of people have this syndrome of like, oh, it's a sniper. Let me, I don't know, like give him a lesson and kill him across the map. But no,
with
don't.
a shotgun. It's like, what?
Yeah,
But
if you're a medic and you see a sniper, you should just hide.
just hide, or if they're like passing by, and if you're within combat range, like the engagement range, that's what we like to call it. If you're within like 5 or 10 feet, like sliding distance, like enough to actually one hit kill, or very close to with your shotgun, leave them a fuck alone, because the chance of getting knocked down is fucking high.
Yeah, or if you cannot hide or like take cover, the best thing is to switch immediately to your pistol and try to headshot them. And the last thing that comes to my mind, at least as of now, is to really just practice. Like, it's the safe house. You can activate this sort of training where the targets move in the weirdest way possible.
Oh yeah.
So that helps you be quick with your reaction times and your like reaction to people's movements, because we all know that Warface has the best movement mechanics. So surprisingly, because of how good the Warface movement mechanics are, that training is pretty realistic. So if you use that training, where the time training, so you have to go to like this sort of computer in the safe house, you activate it, and then you go to each of the, you choose which class you want to play with. Usually it's best to choose a sniper one, because a lot of times, a lot of maps in Warface have these really long lines of sight, and if not, they have like a mid-range line of sights, which isn't the best for SMG or snipers, or even rifles. Like rifles, obviously, as we just talked about, it aren't the best. Even rifles can't always challenge snipers at long range. So it's at least I always use the sniper one. So you go to the left side, you choose the training, the time training. It's 30 seconds, and you have to hit as many targets as possible. And when you choose the sniper one, it brings up targets. It makes targets appear at every single range. So either close range, mid range, or far range, and that really helps you work on your aiming skills at every single range possible. So you should. That's one way to practice. The other is just when their targets are standing still. So like trying to work on your switch speed. So when you kill one person, how quickly you can go on to the next. When the targets are standing still, when you immediately go into the safe house, that's a good training to do. Or I mean, it's not really efficient, but you could even train in co-op if you want, trying to kill enemies and clear the mission as fast as possible. But really, the best ways to train and keep practicing to keep your aim up is to do in the safe house with the two methods, either the timed training or the normal training, or playing FFA and only aiming for heads, and while keeping in mind the other tactics and tips.
Gotcha. And I was showing that as well on my end in the safe house. You can activate the targets. Also learning your movement, like how do I crouch? How do I go prone? How do I hide here? That will save your ass so many times. You have no idea.
Yeah, and I don't really like to say this, but nowadays, if you don't crouch in gunfights, your odds of winning are pretty low, because crouch, like everyone and their mom crouches now when they have a gunfight. As soon as they see someone, they crouch when they shoot. So it's really helpful if you crouch and shoot when you see someone, because it reduces. I'm not sure if it reduces the recoil. It might reduce the spread, but I don't know. It helps. I can't pinpoint what effect it actually has, but I know that it definitely helps. It has like it's not just a feeling. It definitely has concrete effect on how well you do crouching.
So I'll admit, I do quote unquote drop shot sometimes, but I don't do it all the time. That's another thing you can do, but don't be an asshole about it and just do it every single time someone points at you. That's impractical.
Yeah, now people just sit down every time there's a gunfight. They don't drop to the floor and lick the floor.
Like
just sit down.
In CS, obviously in Counter-Strike, you have to that to mitigate the spread, and you have to control the recoil. But it's Warface. It's Warface. You do have a red
Yeah.
dot. You do have the chance to aim down sights. You do have the ability to sprint and slide at someone. You can be more aggressive. That's one thing I do like doing. I grew up playing Call of Duty, so I came running everywhere, shredding like crazy. So that's my background, is just melting anyone in my path. But if you're coming from Counter-Strike, you need to actually be more methodical and aiming. But if you're like me, just running everywhere, slide, be aggressive, but know the map. If you know the map and what's behind you and all that, you can get out of an awkward situation, flank around, headshot them instantly. It definitely helps. But know the map, know your weapon, and know your enemies. Are they sprinting around? Are they not watching their sprint levels? Are they just camping in corners? Pay attention
Yeah,
to all of that.
and a lot of times you might see patterns in round-based game modes at least of how the enemy moves around or who shows up where. So you have to be mindful of those as well. And obviously use your damn mini map.
That is a fucking preach moment right there.
Yeah, I don't use it, so I'm not one to suck. I don't really use it much, or I'm pretty sure I don't use it as efficiently as people can use it. But using your mini map will save you a lot of times.
One other suggestion that kind of enforces the check the minimap rule, kind of, is if you play bag and tag. Obviously, if you stare at the fucking minimap all day long, that is kind of cheesy, but it does help you go, okay, there's a dot over at the north quadrant, let me head over that direction. And it kind of helps that quickly glance up, check the minimap, get back into view, see what's around you, and just keep doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
So there are a bunch of other strategies.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, now really, really, really quickly, what is your favorite PvP map? Is it Motel?
No, I actually dislike that so much that I've played on it. Like, it's as if it was my freaking hometown. My favorite map is probably High Hill. I don't have like, I'd say my favorite maps are storm maps because I used to play them so much back in the day when the game was, when I played more actively and I played with my friends and the game was more fun, quote unquote. So storm maps overall. And between storm maps, I'd say High Hill because it has this really distinct environment to it, as compared to like in comparison to other maps. It has a lot of like horizontal change. Like a lot of Warface maps are very limited, not horizontally. I mean vertically.
Oh yeah.
A lot of Warface maps are very limited vertically, but High Hill, nearly every section of the map has like an ascent or like it has a lot of different levels,
an angle to it.
Yeah, exactly. And besides that, like I said, I used to play it a lot back in the day, so it's pretty nostalgic as well.
Gotcha. Okay. One of my favorites happens to be the black gold for Storm. Love that map, especially okay. If you're like me and you are a camping prick, no, I'm kidding. I'm not a camper, but if you remember
position.
Exactly, but if you remember when you capture the first objective and you're assaulting the second, it's around the corner to the left, but you notice how there's that sniper tower way up on the right side behind all those containers. So the first thing is capture the second point. Well, if you are lucky enough, you can sneak behind and do some handiwork. The other thing you can do is if you are defending and they capture the second objective, but you hang back in the tower. Like have your teammate go die, but it's just you in the tower. But as the enemy is spawning in on that bridge, you can stay all the way back in that tower and pick them off. I have gone like 18-player kill streaks just by doing that. Because no one decides to check the tower. All they see is, you got killed by this tower. What the hell?
That damn tower, the natural disaster always kills me.
No, it's a fucking 50 caliber bullet smashing your skull. But you have to...
know, like... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Like, I remember from my miserable Storm days, a lot of times that would happen, and I would be like, why are you guys not killing him? Like, there'd be like 5 people in my spawn dying right as they spawn. I'm like, just turn around and kill him, dude. He's literally standing in one spot. Just kill him. And like, the players were so clueless, they never do it.
Yeah. It's as if they completely skipped the quote-unquote kill cam, which is not really a kill cam. It kind of shows you where you died from, if that makes sense. It's like Battlefields almost. There's no kill cam, but it kind of shows where you died from. So, moving on, we're going to check over your weapons. We're actually going to swap it over and ask, if you could add or remove any weapons, what would you add? Add being the first question.
Okay. So adding... I'm not really a weapon expert, so I don't know a lot of weapons. And Warface, pretty much my only FPS experiences are Warface and Crossfire, so I don't have a lot of knowledge. But I do know that because of my love for the Carcom series, I do know that there's other variants of the Carcom, or the Tavor, I should say. So I really would like if they added a variant of the Carcom rifle, because the SMG is already pretty decent. It's not the best anymore, but it's usable. But the Carcom rifle isn't anywhere near relevant enough to use. So I'd love it if they added another variant of the Tavor rifle.
And one other solution, I also was thinking of that at one point. If anyone here has actually played Black Ops 2, or if XICOR you may recognize the MTAR-21. It was an assault rifle, but you could throw on a laser.
Grenade launcher? Oh.
Well, grenade launchers we know in this game are pretty much trash nowadays. But it was very noticeable and recognizable because it had a shortened barrel. It was a quote-unquote micro Tavor, even though it wasn't micro. We have a micro Tavor as an engineer weapon, but this was a more compacted Tavor assault rifle, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But at one point I was thinking, have something like that, like a black Tavor, like a black MTAR-21 that has a black camo on it, laser sight on the side. You can have the flip-up sight, whatever, holographic, whatever. Kind of like that, right? Make it a different variety of the Tavor.
Exactly, something that I can actually damn use, because I can't use that green-ass weapon.
Yes, unfortunately. Okay. Anything besides that? Any SMGs? Any special things? Not really.
No, like I said, I don't have much knowledge on weapons. I would like if they change. I have a lot of changes that I'd like them to do, like the buffing the UMP so it's not you don't have to punch yourself in the face when you use it, or some other weapons like the TWM, they're buffing it, so hopefully it becomes good. But adding new stuff, that's the only thing that comes to my mind.
Okay. Now, what guns, what weapons would you want to remove or delete from the game? And if you say the gay Rhoda, I am 100% with you. For those of you who don't know, back in our day, it was the what was it? The Garoda, the Garoda SR or something like that, or was it just Garoda?
Yeah, it's just Garoda.
So the Garoda, nowadays it's called the VSS Venturas. We've seen it in PUBG, we've seen it in other games, but this game had one and it was a bitch. It was 10-round magazine, suppressed full auto. It was a nightmare. It's like a microscopic Carcom SNR that I have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was a bitch to deal with because it was suppressed, but it was like a really angry mosquito. It would just hit you and hit you and hit you, and it would not fuck off. It was also annoying in bag and tag, like the Coliseum map. You had no idea where you were getting shot from, but you heard that pew 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 pew, and you were dead. Yeah. So, XICOR, if you say remove the gay Rhoda, I am 100% with you.
Okay, now here's the thing. I feel like everybody's answer, every single Warface player's answer would probably be remove semi-autos and fully auto snipers, but
no.
What? No, you don't feel that way?
No, because that means all my money is gone. But anyway.
Okay, but not you. Everyone except you.
I don't think that works that way.
But, I mean, I feel like I don't really every time I go up against a semi-auto or fully auto, I do get a little pissed. But I always feel like when somebody uses those, it's kind of like a new challenge to try to overcome.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't really want them to be removed. I'm kind of indifferent towards them. If they keep them in the game, sure. Whenever I go against them, it's like a challenge figuring out how I can kill this annoying guy with his damn spraying 1000 RPM sniper. And And if they remove it, well, I don't have to deal with the
You don't have to deal with him anymore.
exactly. But I'd say besides that, the only thing that I would probably want removed is the tourist judge, because that thing is pretty game breaking. So
I do know that they're gonna be. If you don't know, the tourist judge is basically a shotgun revolver. I'll quickly pull it up. It is a extremely overused handgun right now due to the fact that it can one-hit kill pretty much anything at point blank range. It has damage of 200, range of 4. Okay, it sucks. It's not a sniper rifle. It's not a AY, but it's a shotgun. What do you expect? But it has so much raw power up close. You can get wiped off the face of the earth by this damn thing, and everyone is using it. So I'm 100% with you on that. Or limit it only to like the medic class.
I mean, I think a lot of people would be like, "What the fuck's the point then?"
Well, your battle as a medic is close range already. So if you run out of ammo in your shotgun, have that shotgun pistol basically.
Second shotgun.
When all else fails, pull out another fucking shotgun. Obviously, we shouldn't give it to a engineer who can just run in and spray with a super SMG and then blast people away. That kind of makes it unfair. But when you're a shotgun medic, you actually have to kind of land those shells. You can go running in with an automatic shotgun, but if you have a pump, you do need to actually aim and try and get those hits.
Yeah, definitely.
The judge, on the other hand, you can just spam like a bitch.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam. Anyway, but that being aside, any pistols you would want removed, any melee weapons?
No, like I said, nothing really that. Well, the pistol, the tourist judge, but like,
yeah.
Oh my god, good thing you mentioned the fucking katana. I'd remove that shit, and maybe I'm not sure how cancerous the tactical axe is.
It's gotten better. It's gotten better.
But as long as removing it would fix melee only rooms, I'd remove anything. So katana definitely has to go. Fuck that little shit. Fuck that shitty weapon, because it ruined my freaking fun times of playing melee only lobbies.
Been there.
And if the tactical axe has the same effect, then fuck that thing too.
Damn, that hurts. Anyway. Okay.
I mean, look, it does. There's no reason for something to have so much range. It's a melee weapon. Like, I have a feeling that for melee weapons, they should all be skins, just look different. Like, what's the point of giving them different stats? People are still gonna go for them if they look cool.
I mean,
there's no point in giving them different stats.
I mean, we do have that butterfly or balisong knife right now with its skins.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I feel like there's no point in. I feel like all melee weapons should be the same, just look different.
Obviously, if you have a gold one, you should keep the non-breakable status. Thank you, my.com. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, Crytek back in the day, if you unlocked a gold weapon in the random boxes with Crytek, it was non-breakable, meaning it had a little infinite symbol next to it. You would not spend any money on repairs. It would never break, but it also did damage to cyborgs and all of that. It did its 50% bonus or whatever. It was an amazing weapon at the time. Well, with my.com, they've changed it to it now breaks. It has a percentage, so you do spend money on repairing it, but it's still gold, and you still get the cyborg bonus. So now it's lost one of its 3 things.
Yeah, one of its perks.
Yeah. Anyway, but that being aside, what positive changes have you seen my.com implementing into the game since they took over?
My god, the list is so long I can't even start.
Okay, so like the key ones. Like obviously console, they're coming back to console. That's a major plus.
I mean, I was never too aware of how the situation was with console, so I can't comment on that.
Yeah.
But the only, well, there's 2 main things. First of all, you mentioned it before. I don't know if it's going to be in the interview or not, but the updates are a lot more frequent. So back in the day with Crytek, we would get updates like once every 2-3 months, and they'd usually be pretty shit. But nowadays we get one pretty much every month. So that's one major point. Even if the content of the update is pretty much the same every time, it's just new content. that's still better than not having updates or having them once every millennial, or millennia. I'm not sure which one it is.
Millennia.
And the other thing is really well, I'd say two things. First of all, the fact that they're like taking a look at older weapons and trying to make them a bit more usable.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, buffing them a little here and there, or like even the ultra rare vendor weapons I maybe could fall under that category. Basically, like looking out for the poor guy like me, so that we have something to use.
I mean, true.
Yeah, exactly. And the last thing is the fact that they care a lot more about like the games, like with the whole situation with the WAN membership and the media and everything. They're a lot more active on that side, I feel. After my Crytek was pretty horrible on that side, on all that stuff, but I feel like my.com is doing a lot better, much better job at like helping creators, or like putting out content and advertising the game, at least through creators.
Gotcha. And for those of you who don't know, WON, or WON, is the Warface Operative Network. That's a bunch of content creators, streamers, YouTubers, all coming together, basically creating content about Warface, uploading videos, and that is the network it's called.
Yes.
The more you know.
The more you know. And I can sleep in peace, everyone.
Anyway, so we've seen the golden glory of my.com, quote unquote, but now comes the hard-hitting question. What negative changes have you seen with my.com taking over? Remember, let's keep it professional.
let's keep it PG. I don't know, it's hard to find any. Give me some time. Well, obviously, the biggest one is the pay-to-win system. So under Crytek, a lot of people don't consider it this way, but if you think about it logically, or at least it's my opinion, and I think it's the most logical way of thinking about it, but even when Crytek was around, and even when boxes were for Warface dollars, the game was still pay to win. It just wasn't a very straightforward and obvious right off the bat pay to win. It was still pay to win, but it wasn't as like in your face pay to win.
Why does everyone say the game is pay to win? I don't see that. I'm sorry.
Well, that's a whole other rabbit hole. We should probably not go down that, because
I'm shutting up. Continue. I'm shutting up. Go ahead.
Yeah, that could take like a week to discuss. But yeah. I feel like, well, at least in my opinion, or I feel like that's the way it is, but pay to win is a terrible thing for any game, I feel like. Like, just to give you an example of it, or like an idea of why I say this, when the game came out on Steam, it came out on Steam when Crytek was around, and the boxes were still credit. And the number one complaint that you would see in nearly every single review on Steam was that the game is pay to win. So considering that, why would you make the game pay to win instead of going for alternatives like skins and camos and like the VIP system and all that stuff? I really feel like there's no reason to have a pay to win system, but I'm not gonna delve too deep into it. So pay to win system, fuck that shit. I wish they didn't go with that and switch up everything. And it kind of ties along that, but the whole operations thing, a lot of people love that shit, and like they'd sacrifice their dog and their family for that stuff.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of the operations either. Like, I feel like all that stuff, because it affects how you play the game, because basically when you have an objective to strive towards, it makes the game more fun. You're less bored. So it has a definite concrete impact on the game. So I feel like putting all that stuff behind the payment, locking it behind a paywall is a terrible thing. And it, like I said, it ties in with the pay to win stuff. It's not really pay to win, but it kind of affects the game and how you play the game and how much you can enjoy the game. So I don't like the whole operation stuff. I feel like they should have use an alternative to add it so that free players could also benefit from it.
Cutting in here, actually, so the operations, I'm going to quickly cover them in a nutshell. It was Atlas of War, Absolute Power, now it's Operation Kiwi. You may have seen it scrolling past my screen like right now, Operation Kiwi. These operations had the chance of giving you special items, equipment, stripes, challenges, but they would have these challenges that you have to progress through, but you would have to buy access to these operations, usually $10 or $15, like $5 or $10. But Atlas of War and Absolute Power were buy only. Kiwi, on the other hand, I'm very grateful to actually mod.com. They actually changed it this time. So while yes, you can buy access to it, there is still a free option in it. Granted, you won't get some of the amazing cool shit, but you
trial version?
Yeah, you can still do the trial version. You can only lock, so for the challenges, there's like 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star challenges. For the free version, you can only do the 1-stars, but that's still better than nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely better than nothing, but like I said, I'm still against the idea. But I definitely agree. It's still a lot better than not having anything for the free-to-pay users.
So, obviously, I have my stance on it. We can talk about it later or argue about it over a Coke or whatever. I don't care. But anyway, that being said, what are your opinions on Warface coming back to console?
Well, like I said, I was never too aware of how the game was doing on console, but I just played it once on my friend's 360, and I don't know, it felt pretty, it didn't feel really smooth. Like, I felt like the aiming and everything was not really smooth, not as smooth as in, like, at least Call of Duty and games that have always been on console. So, gameplay-wise, I didn't think it was a good thing to have the game on consoles. But everything else, like the economy and all that, I was never aware of how it went on the consoles. But if they introduced it into the consoles the way it is on PC, I feel like it's a bad thing, because the state of the game is not the best, to say the least. So I feel like if they release it on consoles and it's the same thing as on PC, it will only hurt the reputation of Warface.
And that being said, since it is coming to console, do you think people will move away from PC to console? Or do you think that since it's coming to console, people will realize, hey, there is also an option on PC, let's go check it out? What do you think?
I think it's definitely the second one, unless they do some like exclusive stuff on the consoles, which they probably will. I don't see anyone, like, especially with Warface and how if you don't have VIP, you have to spend 18 years of a life to level up by one level.
At the low levels, not so much, but the high levels,
yeah,
totally.
Even mid levels, I'm telling you, dude. Trust me.
If you do enough special operations, yes, you can do it. But getting to our ranks, like 80s, 70s, yes, it's a fucking nightmare.
No, dude, I'm telling you, trust me on this one. Even when it gets to mid ranks, starting from there onwards, you level up once every like weeks, months.
Oh wow,
like that.
They must have changed it then. Oof.
Yeah, if you don't grind all the time and pee in a bottle, you're not gonna level up in a match on a good time basis. But anyways, yeah, if it's the what was I gonna say with this?
Console.
Oh yeah, so because of how the progression system works and how slow it is, I don't see anyone being like, oh yeah, I want to go through all that shit again, so let me move to consoles now. But the reverse, the other way around that you said, a lot of people like realizing like, oh, this game exists, let me check it out on PC. I think that will probably happen a lot.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I do have really one challenging question. It's a question for me, and it's another question for a lot of people. And I'm not going to ask, is Warface dying? They are doing more events for it. Obviously, they're giving more updates. They're bringing it to console. So I have no opinions on it at the moment. Personally, I may not play at the end of 2018. We'll have to see. I may not, but we'll have to see. It can always change. But what are your opinions or your ideas or thoughts of the future of this beloved game?
Okay, so
I'm gonna go grab a drink. It's gonna be a while. No, I'm kidding.
So I'm on the same line as you. If anything, I'm more pessimistic about it. I feel like, especially since you don't think the game is pay to win, while I do, I feel like the game is really in a pinch, because they well they haven't they have really done nothing to help the longevity of the game. Like everything that they've put out has been either they've released new content, but new content has really a limit of how much it can keep you in, of how much it can get you back into the game. There's really not been anything that has been like game breaking or like has changed and made people like, oh, Warface is different now, we should get back to it. Like there's a core part of Warface that for some reason never changes, and it's the fact that there's so many problems with like lagging, teleporting.
Oh my god, yes.
All those stuff, ever since the game has been born, it has been a core part of it. Like that's Warface. And for some reason they can't go away. It's like the arm of Warface. Like you don't remove your arm. You could, if it has like a injury, you could heal it, but it's the literal arm. You can't remove that. It seems to be the case with Warface. But yeah, because of that, and because of that's one thing, and the other thing is the pay-to-win system. I feel like that drives away a lot of players, especially younger players. I'm not sure actually about that, but
it's a mix.
I feel like
it's a mix. It's a very big mix.
It's probably a mix. So one, the pay-to-win system, and two, the lags, bugs, all those problems. Those two tied together, I feel like it's really putting the game down, and it doesn't look too good for the future. The future of Warface doesn't look too bright. It's I don't know how viable the Steam numbers are, but they haven't been very good looking in the past forever. So I don't see anything suddenly making them skyrocket or making the game become lovable again. So I really feel like unfortunately the game is on its way to death. I'm surprised it's still as popular as it is, but I feel like unfortunately the game is not going in the right direction, and it's really just like, a lot of people use this expression as well, but at this point you could describe the game as just a cash grab that just is going to die off sometime soon.
Gotcha. Okay. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I can have mine, he can have his. Again, it's a free country. Well, then again, you're in Canada. But anyway.
Wow.
Lulz. But, again, we can have our own say. I can say that the game has potential. Again, I'm saying I may not play.
I don't disagree on that. I've always thought Warface has had so much potential that it could have become the most popular FPS of all time. But considering all the stuff that we talked about, considering all the problems, I think that potential has gone to waste, and that there's probably no going back.
True that. Okay. But
well, I definitely agree. Like Warface has so much potential. There's no game out there that has as much potential as Warface, because of like it's free to play, the graphics, the gameplay is really distinct and different from any other games. Like those elements combined alone make Warface pretty much, I feel like, the most promising FPS out there. But because of all the problems that it's had and that continue to be present, I don't feel like that potential is ever gonna be put to benefit.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we may have another conversation after this. We'll see. But thank you, XICOR.
Yes.
Xylophone. Thank you for joining us today. Links to his channel will be out down in the description, guys. Check him out. He's awesome. I highly recommend him, as both of us veteran players. He knows his shit. I know my shit. But I definitely recommend this guy. He's been playing a lot longer than I have. Okay, not really. But yes. But I do recognize a lot of these players. Number, Swiss, XICOR, Kenzo. Is he still playing or no?
Kenzo or
Kenzo.
I think he does. I'm not sure.
But anyway, there's a bunch of players. Freak, there's a bunch of players out there. Go check these guys out. But XICOR's will be in the description.
It's no problem, man.
Okay, apologies. XICOR has something to say. Go ahead.
No. I just wanted to say thank you very much, Apache. Thank you very much, Apacheace, for giving me this opportunity. I really enjoyed the talk with you. It was like a great experience. I would absolutely not mind, and it would be my pleasure to talk to you again, whatever the topic may be, pay to win or other topics.
Insert the Mortal Kombat. Are you ready?
Yeah. Whatever the topic may be, it'd be my pleasure to talk with you again. And anyone who's watching, because I'm gonna link this on my channel and over my Discord as well. Anyone who's watching, make sure to subscribe to Apacheace as well and check out his content as well. And yeah, thank you very much, man. Again, it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure, guys. So again, XICOR, thank you. We hope we can do this more. We love doing this. We love chatting. Again, we've been here forever. Okay, not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But again, don't hesitate to ask questions in the comments. Hey, what do you guys think of this? Do you guys recommend this? We've been there. We've done it. A lot of them are stupid ideas, but yes.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See you guys. Bye.